Today we will talk about symbiotic relationships. Symbiosis is a close relationship between individuals of different species that live in the same area. Some examples of symbiotic relationships are mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism, and we'll talk about each one. Mutualism is a symbiotic relationship in which both species benefit from each other. So there are two different species. Species one benefits, so he's happy. That's why there's a happy emoji. And species two is also happy because they both benefit from the relationship. Here are two examples of mutualism. Please pick one of them and write it down. The mutualism relationship between the rhino and the bird is that the bird eats ticks and parasites off the rhino, and the rhino gets relief from the ticks and the bird gets a meal. So both the rhino and the bird benefit. The reason why the clownfish and the sea anemone have a mutualism relationship is because the clownfish gets protection and shelter from the anemone, and the sea anemone gets nutrients from the clownfish when the fish excretes waste. And the clownfish also scares off predators, so the clownfish and the sea anemone both benefit. In commensalism, there's a symbiotic relationship in which one species benefits and the other one is not affected. So species one has a happy emoji and species two has a neutral emoji because it's not affected. Some examples of commensalism. Again, just pick one to write in your notebook. The barnacle and the whale have a commensalism relationship because the barnacle gets a ride and feeds on the plankton. So the barnacle is happy and the whale is not affected. The remora fish and the shark have a commensalism relationship because the remora shark hangs around underneath the shark and he gets the scraps from the shark's meals, and the shark is not affected. The third type of symbiotic relationship is parasitism. Parasitism is a symbiotic relationship in which one species benefits and the other one is harmed. So species one is happy and the other species is harmed, so that's a sad emoji. Species two is not going to die from the relationship, it's just going to get weakened or harmed in some way. So let's talk about some examples. Again, just pick one example to write down in your notebook, please. So the heartworm and the dog is an example of a parasitism relationship. The parasite lives in the dog's heart or lungs or blood vessels and feeds on the dog's blood. So the parasite is happy and the dog gets weaker. So the dog gets the sad emoji. The tick and the cat. The tick attaches to the cat's skin and feeds on its blood, so he's happy. And the cat gets weaker and can get infections. Just one thing to point out is that parasitism isn't a predator-prey relationship. The parasite isn't going to want to kill its host or the thing it's living off of, because then it has to go out and find a new home or a new place to live. So the parasite will usually hurt its host but not kill it, at least not right away. So here are some non-symbiotic relationships between organisms of the same species. Remember, symbiotic relationships are relationships between two different species. Now we're talking about relationships within the same species. Cooperation is when two organisms work together to survive. For example, bees in a honey hive, wolves that hunt in packs are examples of cooperation. Competition is where an organism competes for the same resources as another one. So you can have two animals fighting for food, water, shelter, or mates. Some other non-symbiotic relationships would be predator-prey. One organism is the predator, feeds on the other organism, which is the prey. And interdependence is the ways in which biotic and abiotic factors interact with each other. Interdependence would be you're dependent on somebody else and they're dependent back on you.